Whiskey Jason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And I'm in America this time with a bourbon. Mayor Pingree single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, cask strength. 57.2% ABV, barrel number 14.1 or -1, and this is actually bottle number 131 from 156. You've never heard of Mayor Pingree? Well, sorry, neither had I beforehand. I bought this on an auction site in the UK. I wasn't really sure. I'd been watching them for quite some time, and finally I won at a price where I could just more or less justify it. So this cost me 89 euros, which is about $100. In the States, this usually goes for like $80, so the price is not that bad. Number one, who is Mayor Pingree? Mayor Pingree was the mayor of Detroit between 1890 and 1897. Some call him the best mayor ever of Detroit. Well, as we know of the history of Detroit, let's just move on here from there. Whiskey base number 100117. So it actually has made it over to Europe in a very, very exclusive amount of times. And in the bottle, it actually says Valentine Detroit Distilling Company. Wow. And I want to read the back of the bottle, which is very, very important for me. So, originally distilled on the originally distilled on the famed column stills of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. This bottle of straight bourbon was selected from one of the finest casks to be ever aged in the state of Michigan. We're honored to share these rare and exceptional barrels with you. Hazen S. Pingree, mayor of Detroit, is considered one of the greatest mayors in U.S. history. He was a champion for the Detroiter fighting monopolies and corruption. We honor the enduring spirits of the old Ping with a bourbon for the people's cheers. So, Valentine Distilling doesn't distill, at least not yet. What they do is they buy MGP juice, bring it to Michigan, and actually let it age there. Did it age the entire 10 years in Michigan? Well, according to my sources, no. Maybe 2, maybe 4 years. The newest bottles here from Mayor Pingree actually have an 11 on it. So they bought a certain amount of bottles, a certain amount of casks, and now they're bottling them one after each other. Can you go to a normal store and buy this? A liquor store? No. They are all, according to my information, bottle picks. That means that you have a store, and this store actually goes to Mayor Pingree or it goes to the Valentine Distilling and go, hey, I would like to have one of your barrel picks. And they send them 3 to 5 different samples. You pick one, and then it's bottled for you, and it's sent to you, and that store will actually sell it. So mine was actually for the exclusive for the Binny's Beverage Depot single barrel selection. And what I have to admit is this is one of the best bourbons I've had in a very, very, very long time. So I'm going to pour it, and then I'm going to compare it to something which is one of my favorite bourbons of all time as well. Let's take a little vote. What do you think is one of my favorite bourbons of all time? Write it down in the comments now. Pause the video. What is Jason's favorite bourbon of all time? It's not Eagle Rare 17. I don't have that here. It wouldn't be fair to compare it to that because it's not even the same price league. It's not George T. Stagg. So, what is my favorite bourbon of all time? Well, one of my favorite bourbons of all time will be Stagg Jr. I like Stagg Jr. So, I think it was the Whiskey Tribe or Daniel and Rex that actually said Stagg Jr. will kick your butt around the corner, around the block, and then come at the end, and you say, thank you very much. That was a pleasure. This stuff is so good. I just love Stagg Jr. Over here, it cost me 100 euros to get this bottle, which is about 120 US dollars. And to be fair, I've got to actually Put a tiny little more in there. Which branch or what batch do I have? I have 64.75% alcohol by volume. That's 129.5 proof. I actually do not know at this moment which batch number that is. I didn't research that at the moment, so sorry. So what I want to do is I want to look at the... It's amazing. It really is, that really just baffles my mind that the Mayer Pingree actually is a darker, at least when I look at them, I'm not sure about the camera, it's a little bit of a darker brown than even the Stagg Jr. The first time I did this together with the new Bookers. I'm in Europe, and so I get the 2018-01E, which is Europe. So all your nice batches that you have in the States, I don't get. I do get a year, 3-month batch number with 63.7%. And it lost. The Bookers lost to this Mayer's Pingree, 10-year-old from MGP Juice. Unfortunately, what I don't hear is I don't have a High West. They used to have the High West. They actually bought a lot of the MGP juice as well, and they bottled it themselves in the Old Scouts, and there was like a 14-year-old bourbon. I did do a video about that in the very beginning of my whiskey career in the German whiskey YouTube world, and I remember that being excellent. But let's just compare the two. I just love this nose. I get the pecan pie all day long. Over here. Oh, also very interesting, but I get more of an oaky, woody sweetness, which is also very, very nice. Different directions. It's like you're comparing a Lamborghini to a Ferrari. Both are excellent cars. I'd be happy with either of those. This is about the league that we're in the super premium bourbon league for me. If I was to go for the nose, I would go for a little bit more of the sweetness, just like I prefer a Lamborghini compared to a Ferrari in general. Now, as I said, I'd be happy with either of these. Both of these bottles are just a big bang for your buck. So, 57.2%. What amazed me the very first time I tried this was how mellow, how smooth, how wonderfully aged this bourbon actually is. No water, and I'm just going, fabulous. I gave this an A, a solid A in my German video. I'm going to give it a solid A in my English video as well. Very, very seldom have I given anything an A. I do remember giving this an A minus. So let's take a look at this. As I said, 64.7%, 57.2%. I might need to add some water to this. So just a tiny little nip at the beginning. If you want oak, if you want a bourbon that is really oak forward, this is the place to go without being bitter. The Booker's was actually a little bit bitter compared to this. This is so sweet, and this is so just a beautiful pecan expression. And this can almost, I'm absolutely right. A minus. This is better in my book than this, which is amazing. Who would have thought that I would ever say that? This just surprised me. And that's going to actually be the question of the day. What bourbon have you ever had where I was like, wow, that's amazing, and you did not expect it? So 3 little drops and a little bit more to pull this down to about the same ABV. We're running around 56% in both cases now. The Mayer Pingree, I can highly recommend the blue label. There's a black label, which is a mixture of other whiskeys. It's not a single barrel. Of course, I might have just got a honey barrel, It's 156 bottles from the 14-1 barrel. So if you can get the 14-1 barrel, you're going to hopefully be just as excited about it as I am. If you get a different barrel, 17.15 or whatever that is, it will be totally different. That's the problem with single barrels. This was one of 156 bottles worldwide. Stagg Jr. with water. There's actually a video online of me doing blind tastings with George T. Stagg, 2014, 15, I think 13 or something like that, and 2 bottles of Stagg Jr. 2016, 2017. Stagg Jr. won in all cases, blind. I prefer the Stagg Jr. to the George T. Stagg, which is really, really a shame. That's the way it is. Blind. Do the blind tasting and see if you agree with me. I'm pretty sure that most of you are going to also blind say that Stagg Jr. is actually as good as, or maybe even better than, the normal George T. Stagg. Who knows? But over here, I'm going to have to do this soon. This just has such a sweetness, so a nutty pecanness, such a wonderful tobacco leaves, as well as some of that what type of nuts are the big ones? Macadamia nuts. There's a lot of nuttiness in here. Chad from Sarah and Chad from over in Bourbon Nights would just probably go wild with this. Stagg Jr. woody, oaky, very, very nice. This is sweet nuttiness, even better, according to my palate. So, as I said, my question of the day is, what bourbon whiskey surprised you by being absolutely one of those whiskeys? You opened it up, you didn't know what you're expecting, and you got it, you went, ah, wow. Mayor Pingree. Thank you very much, Valentine Distilling in Detroit, Michigan, for buying those MGP barrels, for aging them at least for a few years in Michigan, and then offering them to certain beverage companies that actually can sell liquor in the United States. Thank you for that private individual, I have no idea who you are, who actually somehow brought this over to UK, put it on an auction site, and allowed me to buy it for a price which was slightly higher than what you paid for in the States, and me to just actually geek out about this and just be so happy to have this. All right, Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. One of 156 bottles, single barrel from the Mayor Pingree. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, my videos come out. Please like, please subscribe, please tell others about this crazy American over here in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, and sometimes it's bourbon you should get your hand on. Thank you very much. See you then. Bye-bye.